All right. Hey, this is Rubio. We're on Umbrella Talk, and this is the episode 1. And all of my inspiration came from Joe Mac. Joe Mac used to work with me back in the Marine Corps. So today's first guest is Joey MacAvoy. Say hello, Joey.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on the show, bro. Looks like you're in San Francisco right now.
Yeah, just right up the street from you, right?
Hell yeah.
San Francisco, Texas.
San Fran, Texas. All right. That's something different.
All right, so let's get this started, man.
Do
Tell us about yourself, like where you're from, what are you doing nowadays?
Oh man. Well, let me make sure I got the speaker view on. Sure we got this right. Yeah, so Mike, thanks for having me on Umbrella Talk. Why do you call it Umbrella Talk, by the way?
We have to we have topic. We have to stay on topic, and so Umbrella Talk would give it a sense of a topic for each episode. Today's episode is specifically about you, so we're gonna keep it about you, not the show.
Gotcha. Thank you, man. Now I appreciate you keeping me on track. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, look, sometimes a man needs guidance. You know what I mean, in his life. So hey.
Where are you living at right now, Joey?
I'm down in San Diego, bro. I've lived in San Diego for 7 years. I'm originally from the East Coast. I grew up on the East Coast. I was actually born on Camp Pendleton in Oceanside, California, which is in San Diego. And as an infant, relocated to the East Coast. And that's where I spent the rest of my life. Up until age 18, when I joined the military, and then linked up with you and, kind of visited some places.
So being a military brat, what are some of your first memories of, your upbringing?
That's a really great question, man. I'm glad you brought that up. So, my father was a Marine infantry officer. That was his occupation for 20 years. He retired as a lieutenant colonel in the year 2000. So he spent 2 decades, the entire 80s and the entire 90s on active duty. He saw deployments to the Desert Storm. He was deployed during Desert Storm. He was involved in Kosovo in 1998, I believe. I got to check that. And we moved around. We moved around quite a bit. Before the age of 11, I think I lived in 4 or 5 different places.
Yeah, so being a military guy, and having kids, I know that I missed a lot of my childhood. I missed a lot of my kids' upbringing because of deployments and field ops and whatnot. And so I'm wondering, like, how your dad was around. He was deployed, he was in the field, he was doing his thing, and so like you got to have those memories with him or without him. And so you got any specific memories that that kind of stick with you with him and without him?
Yes, man.
That you wish that he could have been there for.
100%, man. Thank you so much for bringing that up. That's a fantastic question. So if I'm understanding you correctly, the question is, what do I recall from those early involvements? What did I perceive at that age, essentially?
Yeah.
What was I seeing? Really the earliest memories I can recall is when I was about 4 years old, I was actually living on Camp Lejeune. That's where my brother was born. And I can remember living on the base in the base housing for officers. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Have you ever taken a drive? Have you ever seen it?
Sure, absolutely.
So it's interesting. The houses, I want to say they're like 50s, 60s, but good condition. You know what I mean? And decent size yard.
I think they're like center block houses. Like cement, or plaster or whatever they are.
I got pictures of it.
Yeah, they don't have no fences. I think they're just open yards. They're decent sized yards, but it's just open.
That is correct. They are open fences, and you're absolutely correct. And they actually have the name of the family outside in the front. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you ever. I don't know. And the rank.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the rank. Yeah. So that's I mean, that's an interesting dynamic. You know what I mean, you don't see that anywhere else in America.
So what were you doing when you were that young? Like
my teeth look. What do my teeth look like, man? I feel like I don't have enough lighting. It looks like I got smoker's teeth or something. Am I just?
Have you been smoking?
Nah, man. Am I tripping?
No,
I feel like I got yellow teeth. I used to smoke. I smoked for 12 years. I smoked cigarettes for 12 years.
Is that what you picked up in Camp Lejeune back when you were 4 or 5 years old?
I picked that up about 16 years old in Virginia Beach. Probably 15, 16. Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. You try it a couple times, you might get hooked. It's that powerful for somebody that's yeah.
I tried it once when I was 10 and I got dizzy. I thought I was gonna pass out, and I said never again. I ate the one cigarette, one and done.
Yeah, that's good.
By 10.
That's good. But back to your question.
Upbringing, dude. Like you were in Camp Lejeune. You doing skateboarding down the sidewalk, rollerblading? This had to be like in the 90s, right?
It was early 90s. So I learned how to ride a bike on the bike path behind the house. So I want to say it was my mother. They, the training wheel, whoever took them off, somebody took the training wheels off. I'm going. And then I look back, I realize nobody's holding me on the bike. So I'm just going for the first time. The first time you ride a bike. But me, I'm the type of kid. I'm so excited that I'm riding a bike. I want to turn around and wave, right? The problem is I didn't master that part yet. You see what I'm saying? This is my first time riding a bike. So my body turned with my hand, and the handlebar went straight into my abdomen, and I just flew off the bike and just like, on a damn gravel. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I got a little scraped up, and that's kind of when I learned, hey, look, if you're gonna show off, you should at least know how to brace for impact, something like that,
Oh yeah, for sure. So how long did you stay there out in Lejeune?
My brother was born in 1990. I think about 3 or 4 years, and in about 1993 or 4, we moved up to Northern Virginia, where I went to finish up elementary school, and then for middle school and high school, we moved down to Virginia Beach. This is 1997. I'm 11 years old. That was a big move. That was the biggest move and biggest transition for me at that point, because I'm going from like up north, Northern Virginia, kind of a small town community type thing. And I'm also in middle school, and then suddenly I'm changing up the scene, and I'm going into middle school, and it's a completely different environment. A lot bigger. It's just a lot bigger. It's a lot more diverse.
Virginia Beach, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so I spent some time up there. I know what the area is like.
Yeah.
So
that was a big thing for me.
Those junior high years were super like inspirational. That's where I picked up. Man, I can remember most of my teachers, my coaches, friends from that era. So what do you got, man? Like where's your inspiration coming from at this point? Like you're starting to pick up like activities and hobbies. So like what were you like, music or dancing or sports or what?
I always played recreation baseball, and I picked up recreation basketball. So I enjoyed those things, but I never like really applied myself. I was just kind of having fun. And I was a very much a trash talker in both sports. I would figure out where the line was between unsportsmanship and crossing that line with the referees. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to play on that edge. I wanted to find out where that edge was. Because look, man, if it's in the game, it's in the game, right?
It sounds like a Marine Corps career in a nutshell.
Exactly. If you get mad, that's on you. Like, that's not against the rules for you to be mad. You know what I mean? Like, and if that throws you off, I'm there. I'm right there at that line. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I didn't really need to be that type of guy. I didn't really need to be that type of player. I just kind of was.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of how I channeled my capabilities.
So why not train to be the next, back then you're saying mid-90s, like Nomar Garcia Parra. You're like, why weren't you the next, great Yankee or Red Sox guy?
Well, when we're talking about this, what I'm really thinking of is, I made some really good. I had some really good friends from that team, from the rec teams. But I'm thinking that because I tried out for the baseball team, the high school team. I can't remember if I was a freshman or a sophomore, but I didn't make it. I didn't. Hold on 1 second. I didn't make the cut because I didn't freaking. Hold on, let me move this piece of furniture over here because let me see if the lighting's good over here. Yeah. I didn't make the cut because I didn't go to conditioning. They had conditioning all summer clinics, and I didn't go because I'm the type of dude. I'm also the type of dude like, oh fuck it, my talent's gonna fucking get me on the team, and if not, then fuck off. That's my attitude at
7th grade, 8th grade, whatever, going into your freshman year.
Probably freshman, no, for sure, either freshman or sophomore year of high school. Yeah, man, and not the most ideal attitude to have. Definitely could have made it if I went to conditioning. Obviously, I'm quite sure I could. I feel like I was pretty. I mean, shit, man. You put me in any position, I'll play it.
So when you retired from baseball, what'd you pick up next? Because everybody has like a hobby or something,
Let's sum up 15 or 10 years of baseball real quick though. 10 years plus. I remember catching a grounder in the mouth at about 8, almost knocked my teeth up, all bloodied up. I still made the play. I still made the throw. Still made the play. You remember them fucking, I don't know, in Texas, man, some of these fields in Virginia, they're like unkept. And it's like playing on fucking rocks and shit. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
This ground, I don't know, I'm playing like second base or something. This grounder hits a damn rock or something, like a damn snail or something. That was my first, that was a good one. I think I caught a couple lines, might have caught a couple lines. I mean, who doesn't over the years, right? I mean, nothing too bad. Nothing bad though. Just good times, man. Good times. I like being in that batter's box, talking shit and just crowding the plate, and if I get hit, I get hit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
who's your favorite player? Like, I mean, you must have been watching baseball. Like, at that time, everybody was mimicking their favorite guy,
I have to get back to you on that one because I got to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to be like the dude, like, oh yeah, I never followed any, but I can't. Like I was. That's the truth, though. Like,
listen, man, I think we played softball before, like when we was in the Marine Corps.
Sure we did.
I would probably say you probably had like.
I'm listening.
I'm probably say Charles Barkley type swing.
Oh, Barkley? That dude plays baseball, dude. What are you talking about?
You never seen him swing a golf club?
That's cold, man.
It's weird. It's weird. Okay, so I
know you're a softball player, man, but you don't got to do me like that.
No, I assume you had like a goddamn press conference when you retired. When you were going, hey man, I'm just gonna hang it up. I'm gonna move on to something bigger and better.
That'd be nice.
You're 14 years old, 15 years old, having a press conference about how you retired from baseball. No, but
I had a very imagination like that. You know what I mean? My imagination was like my reality kind of thing. Like that's kind of really how I feel, man.
Yeah. So I think you're a music guy, man. So like it seems like you have an extensive knowledge of music, man. Like at least the hip culture. And I know they're like Richmond and Virginia Beach in that area. There's a lot of, that's like where the South meets the North, and it's a lot of genres coming into play there.
So glad you brought that up. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And I know you're you're closest to Houston, right?
Yeah, right outside Houston.
So, that scene down there is a completely different ball game, which is so dope. I think I got exposed to like Houston music when I was like probably by like Mac Williams and Damn Mason too. You know, them guys were getting them. You know, they were getting the bootleg joints and stuff, and you know, they had all the new stuff. You know, it was a good time. But anyway, back to Virginia. Virginia is in the Mid-Atlantic region. It's the bottom of the North and the top of the South. That's what people say anyway. That's what some people say, which really is what it is. It's right there in the middle. It's a very diverse region. And there were some really great radio stations with really high quality hip hop DJs when I was in getting into high school and stuff. But I was into radio way back when I was in elementary school. I had a little transistor joint with the tape deck, and I could record the radio.
Yeah, I know exactly.
The radio's free. You know, radio costs nothing. I can have one tape and I can record over it forever. Right? So,
and you could just record song after song and have your mixtape.
That was my joint. But see, I was into oldies like 50s, 60s, 70s type joints, you know, like I was into oldies radio. Then I moved into like classic rock. And then by the time I was in high school, I was full blown hip hop. A little bit of R&B, you know, that type of scene, man. It was, we're talking like early 2000s, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, you know, that type of joint.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I was calling it, and I got really involved. I was calling into the radio stations. All them guys knew me. They would have contests. I would win contests. I would go to the damn station, pick up my prize, meet the people. I would have calls on air. They would edit the call. I would wait for them to play it, then I would catch it on the tape, and I would bring that shit to school, and I would play it. I would play it like I'm fucking cool and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my shit. That was just my shit.
Because it's like pre-recorded, right?
Yeah, I mean the guys, they take the call, they chop it up real quick, and then they fit it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's all theater of the mind. That's what I actually learned when I actually studied radio after the military. I was in radio, and that's what I learned is radio is theater of the mind. It's a creation of the mind, you know? So
yeah.
You might think it's live. It feels like it's live. It's creating a feeling like, you know, that's unique to the listener, you know? And that's why I think radio is special, because it just is, man. It's not all there right in front of your face. You know, you gotta. So I think that's where that's where a lot of my imagination came up.
What was that one? You know, that one CD that stuck with you. You know, like you could sing every song on the CD. You know, there's always
you are asking me all the right questions. I love this damn show. What's it called again? Umbrella Talk.
Umbrella Talk with Joe Mac. You know, this is episode 1.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, man, shit. Okay, the first tape I ever bought was License to Ill, Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
When I was like 11. It's 1997, mind you, but I bought that tape. That tape came out in 86. You know, that was my joint.
Yeah.
That was my joint 100%. Then the next year they came out with Hello Nasty, and I bought that. That was my joint too. Also, I had a couple of LL Cool J tapes. My dad confiscated one of them. And I went out, bought it the next day type stuff, you know, like, you know, that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
You out there listening to Tone Loc?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you put on Doggy Style right now, that whole CD.
Okay.
Every song word for word.
Your joint? Okay.
I mean, it's like when I got into music, you know, like in the 90s when Snoop Dogg came around, you know, Chronic, Dr.
Chronic
Dre
was a big one. Chronic was a really big one.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Chronic 2001. I'm talking about Chronic 2001. I don't know about for you.
I'm talking about Chronic like 95, 96,
okay.
whatever.
Okay, the original got you on that. Yeah, a lot of guys had all the catalogs, like all the Tupac CDs, all the Biggies. I had all the Tupacs. I had all the big. To me, that's just like no-brainer stuff. Tupac, yes, all of it. Biggie, all of it. You know,
even though I had all those CDs, man, it was like Snoop Dogg one was the first one that I knew the whole CD, every song on it, man. Like I'm telling you, just give me the beat and I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna karaoke it up.
I gotta ask you this: did you ever hear any Riff Raff mixtapes before he got known?
Who, Snoop Dogg?
No, Riff Raff.
No, no.
Real. You know Riff
even,
Raff, right?
No, man, I'm not a big music guy. I was a sports guy.
Well, I mean, you're a Houston area guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's where your location. I'm just curious about,
I went to high school. I went to the same high school as DJ Screw, small little town in Smithville, Texas. And so a lot of his family members still live there. And so Chopped and Screwed was a big thing. You know, he passed before his time because he revolutionized that style. And then a lot of other people caught on to it. You know, Mike Swisher House, but Mike Jones got big, you know. Paul Wall and all those guys. But I don't know, man. Southern rap is like fun and it's hard. It's hard and it's fun. And I think the East Coast rap is super like lyrical. Like, you know, they were like preaching, man. So it's just a different style.
I agree, you know, and but what I really liked is like, man, you and me were talking about this on the last call. I know we're kind of jumping ahead, but because I feel like now I agree with you. I'm gonna let you run it because it's your show. Where do we want to go from here? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, definitely, man. We're just talking about, you know, what made you, you know, and what made you your elementary years, your junior high, your high school years, and how you move into different hobby interests.
Yeah.
And, you know, all this kind of just, we're going full package here, you know?
I like it. Thank you for that. Perfect. So yeah, man. You know, my brother was born when I was 4 years old. My sister was born when I was 10 years old. Right. So I spent a good amount of time taking care of them. I spent a good amount of time doing yard work, doing chores and stuff. Spent a good amount of time not being at the house, you know, being elsewhere, as much as humanly possible during those times. You know, I just wanted to be out there and kind of experiencing things.
So, you know, some of the viewers might not know, but, you know, we didn't have cell phones back then. I don't know about you, but, you know, in the late 90s, cell phones weren't like everybody didn't have one. You know, you still had your house phone. So you actually had to get in your car, drive somewhere, or get on your damn bicycle and go visit somebody.
Big on bikes, big on bike treks, big on every neighborhood I've been through on a bike 10,000 times. I could read every, like the back of my hand. I was, you know, bike groups of people on bike doing activities, things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
All day.
All right.
So you have like one task for the whole day. Like, yeah, we're gonna, you know, go over to this neighborhood, get X, and then go over here and do Y. And that's really your whole day. And whatever happens in between just happens to happen. You know what I mean? That's kind of like,
you know, what kind of limits did you have? You know, I mean, I assume this is like your high school years, right?
Oh yeah.
So what kind of limits did you have with your parents? Like, hey man, you better get in before dark, or like they just let you go because they trusted you?
Nah, I was pushing them limits as much as humanly possible. You know what I mean? Like that's all I did was push those limits, you know what I mean? And because I was kind of, you know, yeah, I mean, listen, man, you know, I got a great set of parents. You know, my father, like I said, career military, you know, really tough job. And I never really understood, you know, after being in the military, I can understand, I get it. You know, I just get it. You know what I mean? Like, I get it from, you know, seeing it from that different angle. And then my mother, you know, she's a great person too. You know, so really great peoples. They'll tell you I was the firstborn. I'm kind of like the guinea pig. You know, so you know, it's all good, man. You know, nothing bad. Just
capital punishment. You getting that belt?
No. Just yeah, man. Just spent a lot of time elsewhere, man. Started working when I was 15. I was doing construction laboring. You know, 8-10 hours a day, hot sun, really motherfucking hard work. And I can't tell you why I really did it. I did it for 2 summers. I can't tell you why I did it for 2 summers. It was just
the money, man.
Yeah,
need the money.
Yeah, it was a paycheck, but I got a lot out of that experience too. The workers are all ex-cons. They're all out, most of them are alcoholics, drug guys or ex-drug guys, but they got these stories, I'm listening to these stories on break time. This one guy, Keith, he did 10 years in prison from 1980 to 1990. And when he told me that, I couldn't, it was too much for my brain to process, because I got to know this guy a little bit. I would never have fucking known that unless he told me, and just seemed like a good guy, man. Some good guys out there, some crazy guys, some problem guys, but good people, hard workers, man.
It's funny how we don't become judgmental fucks until we get older. Like when you're a kid, you're just a kid, man. Everybody's on the same level. And then you start to like segregate people as you get older because their color or their social status, what job they have or what their past did for them. All right, man. So we're still in high school right now.
Yeah.
All right, you're not playing sports? No sports in high school, right?
No, I was playing rec ball.
Okay, so rec ball, but
yeah.
Tried out for the high school team.
Tried out, didn't make it. Said fuck it. Like I'm not. Just. I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm just saying that that's at that time. That's just the attitude I had about it.
That's what it is, man. Yeah, no judgment. But okay, so I was just recapping. So you're going through and you're doing your own thing. It sounds like you're just doing everything. You're doing a little bit of everything.
Kind of sounds like
you're ready to be a grown up.
I'm doing everything that we do in the Western world, but what I'm not doing is I'm not like looking inside and being comfortable with who I am on the inside. What I'm doing is I'm kind of like putting on just kind of, I'm sure we all have did it. We have all done it, but it's kind of like, like a coping mechanism, like developing the type of personality that's a coping mechanism, like, being a funny guy, or I was kind of like the funny guy, but also the guy I learned how to kind of flip out too, but not to like the extent that I'm a really person, but like I gained these type of coping mechanisms to kind of give me, I could have just been my freaking self, but
you were.
It was a big transition going. I'm telling you, man, going from middle school to high school, and then making that change from northern to southeastern Virginia, that was just a huge shift. And I figured it out the way that I did, and I kind of developed a certain type of personality, I guess you say. It's a certain type of traits.
Yeah, listen, man, you said you were, maybe you could have just been who you were. Like, that's who you are. That's who you are. Like, man, you're a peacock. You gotta let you fly.
Well, I like
Yeah, I got you.
Perfect weather for a flight, Yeah, I'm not saying I wasn't myself. I'm just saying, like really looking at it now, I could have learned to be a lot more genuine, but I liked being who I was. Like I liked being, but the problem, I couldn't figure out where that line really was in my head. Like I didn't know. I just like, this is who I am and this is who I'm going to be forever, type of dude, like that type of thing, So and I kind of, not to cut you off, but here's the thing, because I can see this now, because I'm glad you're bringing it up, because I'm kind of like the type of guy where I'm gonna assume that you're not gonna like me. Like everybody's not gonna like, I'm gonna walk into a room of 10 people. Probably half are not gonna like me. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably click with 2 or 3. One's probably a weirdo. Doesn't like. I'm just like, this is what I learned from those years. And if you don't, and I'm completely 100,000% cool with that. You know what I mean? Like I'm totally cool with that. And if you don't like me, and we have to be in the same room, I'm cool with that too. And I think I kind of carried that into the military a little bit. So I think that's kind of where some, yeah, I don't know, kind of had like that kind of element to it a little bit. So I had a little bit of that, but overall, look, I took care of my responsibility. You know, took care of my brother and sister a lot. You know, I wasn't a bad kid. I wouldn't say I was a bad kid. You know, I was just a kid trying to figure it out, like every other kid, just like you were. You know,
what did they think of you, your brother and sister?
You have to ask them yourself, but I don't think they would say anything negative. I think they would say, I think we're on good terms. You know, we're on good terms now. You know, we're really cool terms.
What did they think about Joey in high school when they were in junior high, elementary? You know, because your brother's 4 years behind you.
Yeah.
You know,
we had a lot of good times. We had a lot of fun. Me, my sister, and my brother. Like we got along with each other. However, me and my brother had a lot of sibling rivalry types, like kind of competition type stuff. My dad, you know, we used to play Super Nintendo in the garage. It was up in the garage to a Curtis Mathis 1980 television system with the wood grain paneling on the side of it, right?
Color or black and white?
It was color. It had color to it. It's such I could just envision it. It's like I've never seen a TV. You know, it's just one of them things. It's like seeing an old station wagon or something. That's what it looked. It looks like the same shit. You know what I mean? Like with the wood paneling and shit. Unbelievable. We used to go at it at Street Fighter, NBA Jam on them things. We used to get mad, just slam the controllers and just go at it. You know, like we just a lot of that, just a lot of competition, but a lot of good times too, man. You know, I feel like I took care of my siblings adequately, you know, during those years.
Yeah, so you know, you're going through high school and now you got to figure out what you're going to do for the rest of your life, and how does that you know, evolve in your brain? Like, this is what you wanted to do and this is what you actually did. You know, what were your goals, you know, leaving high school?
It's a great question. Wow, what were my goals leaving high school? Well, I applied to colleges. I didn't get in.
Did you get into some, or did you just not get into the ones you wanted to go to?
Correct. I didn't get into any that I applied to. I think I applied to like 3 or 4, maybe even 5, maybe 3. But, you know, I didn't really put a lot of effort into trying to get in. Like, I wasn't really like hyped about that. I wasn't really excited about that. I felt like I needed some more time to figure it out. So what I chose to do was go to a junior college in Virginia Beach, TCC, community college. And that's what I did. I lived at home. So I'm living at home. I'm going to junior college. I'm working as a dishwasher at this Italian restaurant.
What Italian restaurant was that?
I don't know, man. It's gone now. It's changed.
Man, I've been to a lot of Italian places down there in Virginia Beach.
Have you?
Yeah, man. Kristen was stationed there for 4 years, man. So we used to, you know, run around there all the time.
Got you. I couldn't tell you the name. It's not there anymore. They changed the name. Look, what is important is that I'm working. So I'm working in the kitchen. The dishwasher. It's a small kitchen, very small Italian, very small kitchen. Me, a Mexican guy, helping out the head chef, and that's all there is. Who's this other guy? Greg. His name is Greg White. Most of the time, it's just me and him in the kitchen talking. I'm watching the dishes. He's talking. This guy served 4 years in the Marines from 87 to 91, I believe. This guy was a cook. Lo and behold, he's a cook at this restaurant too. I think he deployed to. I think he went to Desert Storm. Yeah, man. Long story short, one night I'm taking out the trash at the end of the night, and I just decided right then and there, I'm going in the Marines. It was just like right then, like it was just like.
Was he hyping it up?
No, not really. What was happening was Hold on, I gotta put this battery on the charger. But what was happening was,
Man, this is like 2001, 2000, well, 2002, 2003, maybe.
no, I done graduated high school. This was 04.
Oh yeah, so we're at war already, huh? We're in Iraq. We're in Afghanistan. I mean, you knew what you was getting into, right? Like you knew this stuff was going on.
Oh yeah, I knew that there were conflicts and whatnot.
Was your dad still in at this time?
No, he retired in 2000. I went in January 2001. Okay. So, man, this is a great conversation, by the way. Thank you for having me on your podcast. Yeah, so I must say this. My uncle, my dad's brother, is 12 years younger than my father. He decided to join the Marines when he was 17 years old. And that was 1986, right? I looked up to my uncle a lot. I really like this guy. The problem, I'm not the problem, but the thing is, I don't really know the guy. All I know is kind of like what I know from him experience-wise when I see him every year, every couple of years, and then what my mind puts together of the type of dude that he is or must be. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that he was in the Marine, went right out of high school, and I'm talking to this guy in the Italian kitchen. This guy was in the same years. He's telling me this, and this. I'm that type of guy. I'm the kind of guy that's like, okay, well, I guess things come in threes. My dad, my uncle, and this guy, so I'm doing it. I was like, fuck it. I'm kind of that guy, but I'm not really that guy, but I'm kind of that guy to an extent. Like, but it was a lot more to it than that. That was just kind of like I felt like that was a sign kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I wanted to, I decided to finish up that semester so I could go in as a contract PFC. That's what I did. So I depped in. I just walked right into the recruiters. I was like, yo, I'm ready to go. What's up? You know what I mean?
Had you already taken the ASVAB?
No, at that point, that's when I made a decision. I'm doing this. At that moment.
What was the time frame from the time you mentally decided that you wanted to join to the time that you actually like, hey, I'm on the yellow footprints?
Okay, so I think I went to the recruiter's office the next day. I was like, hey, I'm ready to go. What y'all got? Did the whole thing. I think I depped probably about a month and a half, 2 months.
So, only knowing what I know, I'm thinking like, where's your dad and your uncle putting their foot in your ass, telling you to join the damn Air Force? They had to have known the Air Force is a better place for you, right? They had to have known that. Same pay, better quality of life.
That was a loaded question. That was good.
No, I mean, so what was there? I mean, did you had to talk to your uncle, you talked to your dad, and they were like, yeah, cool, that's what you should do? Or no, you should become an officer? Like, what was their mindset in this?
That's a great question too. So here's the thing. I made a decision in my mind, but I knew that I wanted to talk to the recruiters first because I wanted to make sure that I could get in, that I could pass their background checks and nothing would stop me from getting in at this point. So I didn't tell anybody, right? I kept it to myself.
So the whole situation when you were in high school, soliciting a male prostitute, that didn't follow you into the Marine Corps?
It's a good question, Michael. Good question. Thank you for bringing that up. Sounds believable.
No, man, go ahead. No, I was just curious on
soliciting a male prostitute. That's pretty good. It's pretty creative.
So I'm assuming that you didn't tell them until after you'd already made up your mind.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. Exactly. No, until after I knew that I could pass a background check, because I got I was involved in some activity, in my senior year. So there's a couple other dynamics to that decision, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of dynamics to that decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but once I found out that I passed the checks, that's when I called my dad. He was out of town, and he didn't believe me. Because we never talked about it. You know, I never mentioned it, never brought it up. I was like, hey, look, I'm going up to Richmond. I'm going to MEPS on this date. Just want to let you know this is what I'm doing. He's like, you're gonna do what? You know what I mean? Type of, and so I did the damn thing. I go up to MEPS, do all that stuff, walk like a duck, you know. We could get into that too. I'd like to see, because I was thinking about that experience, man. It was like a big gray federal building in Richmond, and it was a cold gray day. You know, I can remember looking out the window. I just remember being in one of them rooms, just looking out this window, like it, just like it was something out of a movie, kind of maybe. Like, I don't know. Anyway,
yeah. Tell me what your dad's take on you joining the military was.
Okay. Yeah. Am I getting off topic? All right. Hey man, look! It's sunny out here. I got palm trees out here, man. Where you want from me?
No, man. I mean, your dad, like, dude, he's a Marine. Like, he had to.
Right. So he was cool with it, very supportive, and from that point on, you know, we're talking about bits and pieces of his experience before I actually took a bus down to South Carolina for that 2-month period, and we had never really talked like that before, you know.
Would you say that he wanted you to do that, or he was just?
Yeah, I would say both.
Okay. And what about both? Your uncle was out? Like, your uncle, he got out, or he was still in?
He was out by then. You know, I told him, he was at my graduation with my family, my brother, sister, mother, father. Colonel Johnson was at my graduation. He was a colonel then. And yeah, very supportive, 100%. Very supportive, you know, the whole way, every time.
Oh yeah. Listen, man, we're not getting into boot camp yet. We're gonna call it a day.
Oh, sure, let's call it a day.
I got the family and the kids, man. So we'll conclude. This is gonna conclude part 1 of Umbrella Talk with Joey MacAvoy. Listen, man. All right, dude, cut it. But no, dude, that's pretty cool, man. You got sidetracked a little bit, but we're good.
Thanks for having me on, brother. I mean, this is what I've been waiting for, somebody like you to be in my life, man.
Yeah, we can dude, this is a 3-part story, man. Like, for sure. Like, there's gonna be, I already thought about that, man. We could do what leads to the Marine Corps. We're gonna do the Marine Corps, and then we're gonna do from the Marine Corps till now. So it's gotta be 3 different sessions. We don't want to just drag it on, you know, catch our breath, and then we'll reset and hit it back again, you know.
I like the idea. I think it's a fantastic show. Congratulations. Thank you for having me on as your premiere episode.
Yeah. Dude, I think the shooting from the hip thing is better. I was just trying to flow it, you know, but we need to get those stories out, and those stories, you have to provide the stories, so they need to be what you want to talk about in that, you know.
True.
And so it was cool, man. I thought I had fun, man, and I'm just sitting here listening and trying to guide it a little bit, but no, man, I wanted you to just do your thing, you know.
No, I appreciate that, man. Can't wait for the next episode. When's it gonna be? Next week?